The drama surrounding the Cleveland Browns' heartbreaking 21-17 loss to the Minnesota Vikings has left fans and analysts questioning everything, from play calling to leadership to, most importantly, whether rookie quarterback Dylan Gabriel truly has what it takes to lead this team forward. On paper, it looked like Gabriel was ready for the moment. The rookie had swagger, hype, and 2 touchdown passes that had the crowd buzzing. But when the game came down to the final drive, when champions rise and pretenders fold, Gabriel stumbled. The final possession slipped away, and so did Cleveland's chance to steal a statement win. For many Browns fans, this was more than just another regular season loss. It was an emotional gut punch that reopened old wounds about wasted potential and the never-ending search for stability under center. And perhaps no one captured that frustration more sharply than Cleveland insider Mary Kay Cabot. In the hours after the loss, she didn't just critique the team's performance, she subtly reignited a conversation that's been simmering beneath the surface all season. When will Shedeur Sanders get his chance? In a post that quickly went viral, Cabot pointed out that despite his early flashes, Dylan Gabriel couldn't close. Her tone was measured but cutting. This wasn't a personal attack, it was accountability. She reminded everyone that the Browns still had options, that competition breeds excellence, and that a little pressure behind the starter might be exactly what Gabriel needs. To her, the solution was simple. Elevate Shedeur Sanders into the QB2 slot. Let him breathe down Gabriel's neck. Make him feel that the job isn't guaranteed. And that suggestion struck a chord, because deep down, Browns fans know the truth. Gabriel's talent isn't the question. It's his composure. In the first half, he was sharp, commanding, and efficient. His throws found their targets, and his timing seemed locked in. But as the game tightened, as the Vikings' defense began collapsing the pocket, the pressure exposed his flaws. His accuracy wavered. His awareness shrank. His decision-making grew hesitant. Each misfire in the final quarter added to the tension, culminating in that devastating final drive where the Browns' hope simply faded away. Even the Browns' sideline seemed to feel it. Coach Kevin Stefanski's expression grew more strained with every missed opportunity. The team's rhythm was gone. The energy that fueled them early in the game had dissolved into frustration and fatigue. And then came the final whistle, a quiet, haunting sound that marked not just a loss, but another layer of uncertainty around Cleveland's quarterback future. What made it worse was Gabriel's pre-game confidence. Days before the matchup, he took to social media with bold words about focus, leadership, and tuning out the noise, a message many interpreted as a subtle dig at Shedeur Sanders, who's been waiting patiently behind him. Gabriel portrayed himself as the composed, team-first quarterback who didn't need the spotlight. But when the lights were brightest, his poise unraveled. Those words, once a symbol of self-belief, suddenly felt hollow after a game where composure was exactly what he lacked. Mary Kay Cabot wasn't the only one who noticed. Former head coach Rex Ryan, who's never been one to shy away from controversy, joined the chorus of critics, but with a twist. Ryan didn't just critique Gabriel's struggles. He turned the conversation toward opportunity. He argued that this game was proof the Browns need to look beyond experience and start focusing on potential. To him, the answer wasn't in sticking with aging veterans like Joe Flacco as insurance. It was about giving the young talent, namely Shedeur Sanders, a legitimate chance to prove himself. Ryan's reasoning was simple but powerful. Joe Flacco can't get it done anymore. Bring up Shedeur Sanders and let him compete with Gabriel. Let the future begin now. It wasn't about favoritism or media hype. It was about recognizing raw ability. Ryan has seen countless young quarterbacks crumble under pressure, but he also knows when he sees natural touch, vision, and anticipation, and according to him, Shedeur Sanders has all three. He talked about Sanders' uncanny ability to read defenses, to adjust on the fly, to drop a ball over a defender's shoulder with just the right touch. Those are instincts you can't teach, and Ryan believes it's time for the Browns to find out what they really have in him. Even more compelling is how quickly analysts across the board began echoing that sentiment. They see what fans see. Gabriel may be talented, but he's still playing tight, still thinking instead of reacting. And in the NFL, that split second of hesitation is often the difference between glory and heartbreak. The Browns need a quarterback who thrives under pressure, not one who crumbles beneath it. To make matters worse for Gabriel, that crucial late-game fumble loomed large. It wasn't just a mistake. It was symbolic. A physical manifestation of the moment slipping through his hands, literally. Each missed throw and each broken play painted the picture of a player who hasn't yet figured out how to finish. And in Cleveland, finishing is everything. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders' name keeps gaining momentum, not just because of his college pedigree or the Deion Sanders connection, but because of how he carries himself. Coaches and analysts describe him as a grinder, a student of the game, someone who spends extra hours refining every detail. He's confident, yes, but his confidence is built on preparation. And that's something even Gabriel's supporters can't deny. Shedeur looks ready. The tension now sits squarely on Kevin Stefanski's shoulders. Does he stick with Gabriel, hoping the rookie will learn from his growing pains and bounce back stronger? Or does he make a bold move, one that could define not just this season, but the Browns' long-term direction? The idea of inserting Sanders into live action may sound risky, but risk is sometimes what turns potential into history. The Browns' loss to the Vikings wasn't just a single game gone wrong. It was a mirror reflecting their current dilemma: talent without consistency, effort without results, belief without execution. And in a league where patience wears thin and pressure builds fast, every game becomes a referendum on who deserves to lead. As the dust settles, the conversation keeps building. Mary Kay's critique was the spark, but now it's a wildfire. National shows are debating whether Shedeur should start getting real reps. Fans are divided. Some want to give Gabriel time, others are done waiting. But everyone agrees on one thing: the Browns can't afford to keep repeating the same cycle of almost. And as for Gabriel, the clock is ticking. Every throw, every drive, every decision will now be scrutinized. Because when the next mistake comes, and it always does, the cries for Shedeur Sanders will grow louder. So, Browns fans, where do you stand? Was this just a rough game for a young quarterback still learning the ropes, or a sign that it's time to turn the page? Should Kevin Stefanski stay loyal to Dylan Gabriel? Or should Shedeur Sanders finally get his shot to show the NFL what he can do? Drop your thoughts down below. We want to hear your take on what comes next for Cleveland.